Welcome, welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for joining us on another edition of Real Stories, Real People. Yes, here's where we interview, here's where we try to find out what God has done and what God is doing in the lives of his people. How he has restored and is restoring by his grace. So thanks for being with us. And with us today we have Errol.
Yes.
Big up yourself.
Yeah, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks for
man.
having me.
Thanks so much, Errol, for being with us and for willing just to share your story with us. I know many people know your face,
Yeah.
but they may not know your story and where you're coming from and what God has done. So just to start off, Errol, tell us about yourself, your family, hobbies, vocation. Give us a full name first, then tell us about yourself.
Okay. Errol Josiah Bryan.
Josiah.
Josiah
I didn't know that.
Bryan. Yes.
Wow. Okay, a king's
Yeah, man.
name.
King's name.
Big up
Definitely.
yourself. Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
man.
Okay.
So, for my name,
Your family.
my
Yes.
family is started with my wife is Beverly Bryan, and
How long married to Beverly now?
it has been 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Good.
In November, we have we have gone 10 years.
10 years. Okay.
So
Children?
Shamar Bryan and Shantae Bryan,
It's a boy and a girl. Yes.
boy and a girl. Shamar is 19, going 20, and Shantae is going on to 11.
Okay.
Yeah. My hobbies, I mostly take on a lot of work, no more than anything else than having hobbies to,
So no relaxing time.
relax time is when I finish work and go home.
And sleep.
sleep.
Okay, understand.
Most times. But I do, do at some times with the family we are able to travel and visit my mom and dad overseas, So
Okay.
stuff like that, and I do take some trips to maybe resort.
Oh, so
sometimes.
traveling and okay. So what do you do? What kind of work do you do?
I do actually I do appliances and AC installation.
Okay.
I used to work, well, I currently work at U.S. Embassy,
Okay.
Kingston, and
Okay.
I used to work at
Appliance
Appliance
traders.
Traders Limited,
Okay.
and also Dendock and Company.
Okay.
Also did 1 year on my own, freelancing after I got redundant.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Tell us a little about your earlier years, your childhood. What it like? I know your dad. Some of us may know your dad, Arlen Bryan. He used
Right.
to be at a
Bethany.
regular preacher here at Harborview.
yes,
You know, migrated.
yes.
But tell us about your earlier childhood. What was that like? High points, kind of deal.
Well, we grew up in the church. Bethany is where we were christened and baptized.
Bethany Half Tree.
Bethany Gospel Hall Chapel.
Yes.
So yeah, that's where we grew up in that church, and we did a lot of activities in that church,
Right.
growing up. And I was also, when I got older, I became also the head boy of Bethany Gospel Chapel. Where I would
Oh, so they're like for the Sunday school, they're a head boy.
Sunday school head
Okay.
boy. Sunday school. Correct.
So you got saved about what age?
Got saved roughly at the age of 16, 17 when I was
Okay.
in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Which high school was that?
We actually went to Calabar High.
Jesus, for Calabar.
Yeah,
Went
man.
Calabar High, okay.
Yeah, man. Went to
Same.
Calabar. Actually did 5 years though. We did 5 years there and also 1 year at Meadowbrook.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
And both parents are Christians growing up, right?
Yeah, they are. Yes.
What was that like? Did you go to church regularly? Did you travel with your dad while he preached? What was that like?
Yeah, man. We went to church very regularly. Actually, we went to church in the afternoons in the beginning of
Right.
going to Bethany,
Mhm.
and the transition into morning Sunday school, and we also went at that time. We went to anything that was related to church, and in those times, Daddy was also normally travels to other,
Okay.
chapels to
Preach.
And
So you travel with him?
We would accompany me and Hopeton and sometimes when Shantae, well, Cheryl.
Who is you mentioned
Cheryl.
Hopeton? Who is Hopeton?
Hopeton is my brother, my bigger brother.
Yeah, and Cheryl is your
my
sister.
younger sister.
Okay.
Younger sister.
So you had
all would travel
Hopeton,
sometime.
you, then Cheryl,
Right.
right?
So we would go with him. Most time it was our interest to go as well, and another time we would want to stay home, yes, but we went just to see him.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was a good experience. Basically, going to a lot of different parishes and then meeting a lot of persons, children, young people at our age as well at the time.
Right.
Yeah, and also.
Go ahead, sorry.
And also went to when Antioch was established
Antioch in St. Thomas.
in St. Thomas.
Right, right.
We were there most of the time as well,
Okay.
And that was when we were mostly traveling. We weren't going to Bethany as much before at that time.
Okay.
So we were
At that time, you're living where exactly?
we were living in Portmore.
Okay.
So basically at that time we were going with them, our
Right.
daddy, to church. Him and Mr. Williams, who were the head at the chapel,
Right.
right? So we went with them at most times.
Cool. So pretty much you would say that you had a stable, healthy, happy childhood.
Yes.
Your parents were
Christian.
there for you.
I were.
You enjoyed church. Apart from the regular drama, which I guess every child had, you pretty much had a good childhood, you would say.
Right, yeah, man, definitely. I know Bethany, back when we were at Bethany, we actually participated in a lot of Sunday school, prize giving.
Okay, so you're big in Sunday
ceremonies.
school.
Yes, so we always do the what you call it, skits,
Skits?
right?
You're in a
we-
skit and
we
them
were-
things. You used to
were-
sing?
We normally just reenact certain
Reenact.
section
Okay.
of the Bible,
Okay.
And we did our part there, yeah.
Okay.
Mrs. Chambers at the time was our lead, Mrs. Chambers.
Okay.
for Bethany.
All right, it's good. So you got saved at age 16. Christian parents, healthy home, stability. You by the sound of it, you're heavy in ministry, heavy in church.
Yes.
Great start, doing well. But was it always smooth? Was there ever a time that you got distracted from this walk? Talk to us about how did that go?
Well, yes, definitely got distracted, when we reached a certain age, we started to having girlfriends.
Girlfriends.
And,
About
having
what age? What
certain
age that this was?
Well, roughly in the same time of, even
18, 19.
17, 18.
Okay.
Roughly about those times, yeah. So, and it's roughly about that time where I actually had my appendix taken out. That was one of my
Okay.
times of,
Illness.
illness. So yeah, we were involved in the church as well as. What was the question again?
So idea of struggle. So you say you're doing well, but they had issue with the girls.
Right.
And these kind of relationships, did they help you or did they kind of pull you away from the Lord? Looking back.
Well, basically they were pulling me
Okay.
away from having my walk with Christ.
Yes.
And I was more, venturing into other activities.
Right.
Even fornication.
Fornication. Yes.
Right. So we were also still guided by our parents to do better. When they see our actions and stuff like that, they were still guiding
Praying for you and
praying for
supporting
us
and encouraging
without
you.
a doubt. But
Right.
we still make our own. Still go against sometimes what we parents would instruct
Yeah,
us to do.
at that age, you're responsible for your actions as a
Right.
teenager.
Right.
Right.
I was active in also working sometimes on weekends or on holidays. So sometimes I was on basically, working at Tasty Limited.
Okay, at
in
that time.
Arbitrary. So
Okay.
I would, find time after work, just venture out and stuff like that, even before work, stuff like that.
Let's venture out where?
Just party or
partying,
skate
okay.
and go somewhere
Okay.
at
Okay.
those times,
All right. So Christian parents, good start, but at some point in time, just the whole distractions around you, whether the girls or the party life, you got pulled away.
Right.
It was wrong, but it was difficult.
Yeah, we know it was wrong. There's always a voice that say, you're not doing the right thing,
Seen.
You know,
Come back home.
Yeah, and with all this, we're still going to church,
Right.
trusting God and asking for forgiveness.
Right.
For our actions and stuff. It was a struggle basically.
Right.
And even at that time, I had appendix were taken out
Right.
in that time, and eventually, I left high school and went to NTA Archos.
Yes.
And did a course for a year in electrical installation. So that's where I, eventually
The skills.
got a skill.
Right.
And then after that, I was also going out on weekends. you
See.
know, And that's how,
So more exposure,
Yeah.
more problems.
yeah, and
Right.
eventually I went to Cactus,
Right.
you know.
Cactus is club in Portmore.
Yeah.
I remember it. I remember
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was there with a friend of my brother's who normally, accompanied him,
Yes.
and I went there with him two nights basically.
Yes.
And on the second night, actually, that's where I met my wife.
Bev. Yeah, I didn't
so
know
it
this
was-
part. So I met Bev at Cactus.
So it was an oldest session. though.
Only session.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
met her at that time. So that's how
Okay.
we met at that.
All right.
Yeah.
But before we move on, so would you say the core reason why you struggled was that maybe your heart, you wasn't spending enough time with the word, and what was the primary reason you thought for not just struggling, but for staying there? Cause we all struggle, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody struggle, everybody.
Yeah.
But what was maybe the number one reason you thought why you didn't overcome it at that point in time?
When we're supposed to be taking up the word, reading the word,
Yeah.
going to Bible class,
Yeah.
doing the stuff that would encourage you and build you,
Yeah.
I wasn't doing that.
Okay.
That is definitely, even though we're going to church, I was still not reading the word for myself to
Seeing.
understand what it
Seeing.
meant
For
to be a
you.
Christian. Yes.
So going to church is good,
Going to
but if
church.
you don't take the personal responsibility to read God's word for yourself, allow God's word to change you, you get a
It will
problem.
not change really.
Seen.
Yeah, it only happens when you put an interest in it
For yourself.
for yourself. Really.
All right, all right. So you met Bev, beautiful woman. We all know Bev well.
Definitely.
So how did that? So you met her, started a relationship with her eventually.
Yes.
I'm supposing yes. So
Yes.
talk to us about that part.
And that was in 1998 roughly.
1998. Okay.
Yeah, we've been with friends and had a relationship from then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and maybe a couple of years down the line,
Yes.
got engaged to her.
Yes.
And also, living where we were married.
Yes.
And a couple of years after we had Shamar come in play,
Yes.
and then another few years later, I got engaged to her again.
You got engaged to her again.
Well, yes, I did.
Okay.
We in that period of time, we were well seasoned in a relationship.
It was a bit rocky to
Yeah.
start it with. Okay.
It wasn't as rocky, but it was us. Yes, I have an age difference, so
Yes.
one where we were, into different things at the time.
Yes.
So, but at the same time, we were still very good, had a good relationship.
And you loved her,
I love her.
and you thought this is the person that you want to be your wife.
Exactly. So
Seen.
I stick around and did what I should do, and
Right.
trust that we would have worked out. Our parents met her; they really loved her.
We all can see why. Yes.
They loved her so much. So we stuck together. We stayed together
Okay.
until today.
Second thing.
Yes.
So did the issue with the girls thing that started as a teenager? Did it continue in your relationship with Bev, or just cut it off and you were good, no problems at all? How did that impact your relationship with Bev at all, if it did?
Well, basically, it was happening, but it wasn't. I had relationships, with other friends and girlfriends, but
Yes.
it wasn't anything serious where Bev would have noticed,
Okay.
a relationship with other persons. It's just after, she left. She left. They migrated in I think it was 2006 or so.
She left for a few years.
yeah.
Yes.
And that's how, I kind of break out.
Seeing.
you
Broke
know.
out, quote unquote.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay.
so, yeah, it was in that time I was really,
Strayed.
Yes. Even
So you guys
worse.
are married at the time?
No, we weren't married at the time.
Not married yet. Okay.
So we got married in 2009.
Right.
So that's when she came back.
Right.
She came back in 2008.
Right.
And we got married in 2009.
Right.
And that's and we did well in that time. We had some issues. I wasn't able to deal with the distant relationship.
Right.
So she made a decision to come back. And when
Right.
she came back, she gave up, her green card.
Wow.
Took
For you.
yes,
Wow.
For me.
Amazing.
and we took
Wow.
took a visa,
Okay.
10-year visa instead,
Okay.
and she was able to. We were still able to travel nonetheless.
Okay.
So yeah, in that time, I was also going. Well, came back when I was at ATL,
Yes.
and in that time I got redundant in the early year of 2009.
Okay, from ATL.
Right,
Yes.
and then Shante was on the way 2009.
Wow, so redundant and another baby coming.
Another baby was coming.
Wow.
And that was when you think that things was looking bad for us, but that was the year the Lord had blessed me even more,
Okay.
because I was able to maintain my new family member and
Okay.
our lives, and at that time.
Okay.
And, that was the most, I guess I said, give thanks to the Lord in that year.
Same.
It was constantly giving thanks, because
Same.
it was a time when I know that I would need the Lord's assistance to bring us through this,
Right.
time.
All right. So Bev went away. It caused a strain on the relationship. She chose to give up her green card, come back to really establish something with you and the family. But while she's away, you go on with things.
Mhm.
Did she ever know about it? Did that ever come up? And how was that handled? What happened?
It's based on after we got married, though.
Okay, got married.
Yes,
Yeah.
2009.
Yes.
After, after maybe a year in our marriage, also went and
Do some things.
and straight.
Straight.
Yes.
So you married, but you still, the issues that started as a teenager still walked with you because they were never dealt with.
They were dealt with
Even
yesterday.
after you got married, you
Right.
strayed.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So in that was a relationship that was carried for a couple of years.
Right.
When that came to in the open, everything else came in the open.
So Bev found out.
Yes, and
Uh-huh.
I chose to tell her about everything.
Right. So
So-
once you found out one thing, you just let everything out.
Everything, from whatever happened in the past.
That must have been tough.
Yeah, man, it was,
I can imagine. That must have been
it is
tough.
definitely a tough situation to, you hurt someone who trusted you that
Yes.
much to not even know that you were anything like that,
Yes.
It was then in one instance where I asked God to assist in mending our relationship.
Okay.
And
So I want us all to be following now. So the timeline is strong Christian parents, good home, got saved, great start, love the Lord in ministry, but because you weren't reading the Bible for yourself and spending time with God for yourself, the whole girls issue came up. That what began as a teenager carried you through even after marriage, and you cheat on your wife, adultery. It eventually came out, and now it's before you, and Bev knows about it. So now you're asking God just to help you to move on from that point.
Yeah, to restore.
Okay. So you have work to do as a man now to regain
Trust.
your trust
Yes,
and to mend the walk with God.
right.
Seeing.
That was definitely one of the reasons why I called upon the Lord, and also personally, with my
So the pain of that pushed you to call upon God more.
yes,
Just it coming out and say, boy, what have I done kind of deal.
yes, and to
See.
break away from what I had, the relationship that I had started,
Mhm.
and even then, it was cut off,
Mhm.
and there was time for healing,
Mhm.
and just to get over the infidelity and
Mhm.
the person who was in between.
Mhm.
And that happened, after a few years, and
So it took time.
Took
So
time.
in Abacadabra by next week,
Nothing
everything
ever
good.
happened like that at all. Everything takes time for us to
Same.
recover from, and if
So Bev had to be patient. I'm sure Bev had to forgive you
yes, and that
and
took
release
time.
that.
And release it, and it took
At
a
what point did Bev get saved?
while. She got saved. I don't remember, but it's sometime
Shout
maybe
Bev here, no, man.
20.
Yes.
Exactly. If it was possibly in the year 2013,
Okay.
14.
Okay. Okay.
She got saved, and that's when I think in that time I wasn't coming to Harborview as regularly,
Okay.
because I know I had issues that I'd be dealing with, and I can't
Okay.
be a hypocrite and serve two
Oh,
masters.
so in the head because of your issues, you stayed away.
Yes,
Right.
stayed away. I
Right.
stayed there for a long time.
It's never a good thing, Never a good thing.
Seemed like a year, easy, 1 year. Never
Right.
came to church any at all, and it was.
So no church at all for about a year.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
you felt guilty, you felt the shame of it.
Right. So
Seeing.
took some time to to change. Basically, I wanted to see that I was
Okay.
on the right track. And from then, with the assistance of Holy Spirit and Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
I never turned back to that type
Praise the
of
Lord.
life.
Praise the Lord. Praise the
I've
Lord.
been with.
So restoration started with exposure, and then repentance,
Repentance.
and then you began to say, okay, then let's really take this marriage thing and this walk with God thing very, very seriously.
Right.
Fast forward a bit.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry, you're saying something?
Yeah, it took time,
Yeah,
you
it
see-
sounded quickly, but it took time.
Yeah, you
Mm.
see we come out, go work, you think that it is same old, you come in home late, you think
Mm.
when it was officially work is work, you might think it's not work, Bev might think it's not work.
Mm.
So stuff like that took time to
Trust,
to
got hold
understand.
trust issue.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
I couldn't stop working basically.
Mhm.
When I had to be out late, I had to be out late for work and stuff like
And
that.
they've had to trust it that you're not going out of foolishness.
All right.
Right,
See me?
right,
So,
right.
Yeah, it took time.
All right. Thanks so much, bro, for just being honest. It's an issue that many persons, but many particularly deal with, just to maintain our integrity in the face of all the pressures, whether sexual pressures and all the pressures, just to maintain our integrity as men of God. But let's fast forward. What are some other things you think God used to bring you to the point where you are now? That I say, okay, God, is you alone. I want to be for you. I want to be a godly husband, a godly man, a godly father. What are some other things He used to bring you to this point, where we can now say He has restored so much of what you have lost? So, what are some things He used?
Well, in that period
You
of time,
mentioned some issue with some sickness as well.
yeah, I've been struggling with the injuries of work,
Work injuries.
work injuries, neck and back,
Neck,
and
back.
stuff like that, and it had been more deteriorating in the years coming to now.
So you had chronic pain in your neck and your back.
Yeah, well, yeah, on and off.
On and off, okay.
Chronic pain, it could be, described as, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, on and off. And thinking that I was trying to deal with it by going to the doctor and
Yeah.
there's some prescriptions and working with the therapies and stuff like that.
Right.
It tend to ease at some time, and then when you stop, it just
Right.
it just returns.
So there's a pain in the body.
Mhm.
You also mentioned music, that Lord will challenge you to change your diet in music.
Right. So yeah, living in the 90s, growing up in the 90s, I've fed on a lot of
Seeing
sort of Buja and
Buja.
Cartel and all sort of stuff.
all kind of stuff, okay?
And
So you
to
loved
get rid of
music.
that, to
Yeah.
get rid of that,
Yeah.
I had to feed on the word of Christian
Music.
music basically.
Mhm.
And I did that basically, listening to TBC radio was one
Okay.
of my points of trying to restore what I've lost in the years, in terms of
Okay.
spiritually. So I started to listen to more TBC radio.
Right.
I had a vehicle, a van. I used to listen to IFM first, and then, and I showing the growth from that.
Right.
So TBC, and I gave an assistant my van to drive and got a car. It only had 2 stations roughly.
Okay.
Mellow and TBC.
Okay.
So I actually stuck it on TBC,
TBC.
radio. So
So you began to part of your journey as God began to restore not only honesty and taking responsibility for your own growth, but kind of controlling what goes into your head.
to my head, and it's
So that the music was a big part of that.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, man.
okay,
It
okay.
feed your spirit with positive,
Okay.
nourishment, and you can actually, I can tell you for a fact, so I can go to my bed, singing one song and waking up with it,
Right.
and waking up with the
I
song.
think I've all had that experience.
And I never used to have that type of
Right.
experience. I used to have more like secular music.
Right.
So this is what I was aspiring to, not to be
Right,
dwelling
sorry.
on things of the world.
Right.
Things of God more need to be in my mind, and that was
Seen.
part of it. And also,
So the pain issue, the music issue. What
Mhm.
else you said? What else you're saying?
basically those two.
Right. Okay.
And
All right. And tell me the story. You shared that day of that one particular song. They're the point in life where you really fully recommitted your heart and say, okay, God, from here on in, whatever you want, this is what I want. Talk to me about that day, that experience. What
Yeah,
happened?
it's, I tend to when I normally go home, I would try to continue listening to music,
Mhm.
praise and worship music,
Mhm.
and that was one of the time when I went in and I listened to the song.
Victory belongs to
Victory
Jesus.
belongs to Jesus. I tend
Yes.
to forget.
Yes.
Yeah, victory belongs to Jesus, and I tell you, I listened to the words, and it went to a point of it that, you know,
Something broke inside.
I chose, yes,
Yes.
it had affected the spirit, and I broke down in tears and said to the Lord that I would not turn away ever again.
Right.
And that commitment was based on that, singing that song and remembering it. And from then until now, I have not, had any reason or feeling of turning back.
Right.
Even before, but definitely committing with that song
Right.
was my time of commitment, and not.
Wow,
to
wow,
others.
wow, wow, wow.
So, yeah,
Wow.
I definitely should have made that commitment long ago,
Right.
which but I
But
think-
hey, bro, we all struggle,
Mhm.
and the thing is, God uses our struggles and our weaknesses to show us His grace and His goodness, and to bring us to a point of just fully committing and repenting. And in your life, He used the pain in the body, and He used music, and just when we see our own depravity, when we see how wicked we can be without God, I think He also uses that to bring us back to Himself.
Right.
So God has really restored you, bro, and not just is continuing to restore you, and to help you to be the man, the husband, the father that He wants you to be. What are some things that you say to a man now who may be struggling, or to anybody who may be struggling in just fully committing, in just saying, okay, to draw a line in the sand and say, no more. From today, I'm going to just, God, whatever you want me to do, help me. I need you more than I need anything else. What would you say to somebody who's struggling to do that?
Firstly, they definitely have to have a need or a want to commit,
Some desire.
desire to commit, and from then you would have to ask, Jesus Christ to come in,
Right.
and allow that change and cause that change to happen. And
So it's His power, it's His work,
His
not
word.
ours. Right.
if I never Him, we couldn't change all now.
Seeing. We can't change yourself.
Can't change yourself.
Yes. Yes.
So, based on that, you'd have to encourage men to, trust, if they believe in God and trust in Christ, you
Mm.
have to walk with Him to, dwell in His word, dwell in
Mm.
spirit of His might,
Yeah.
and that will, encourage and cause a change
So the idea of just committing and asking God's help.
yes, it's basically for Him to assist us. There is nothing.
How about other people? How about the church community? Does that
Oh
help?
yes, the community of the church is definitely a plus.
Seeing.
And
seeing,
persons who walk with Christ, they can assist you.
seeing.
As I said, if I were going to Bethany in that time when all the other friends were
Right.
were going to Bible class, and
It would have helped.
It would have helped.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I would have definitely been a different. Possibly.
Yes. Yes.
God would have
Yes.
been
But the
different.
Lord knows.
But God knows.
There's no such thing as a flawless marriage, bro. Every marriage have struggles and issues. But how do you say God has helped you now to be a better husband
Well, in terms
and a better
of
father?
yes, in terms of my emotional stability, He has assisted that in changing.
So in yourself, you're emotionally stable now.
Right.
So it can bring stability. Yes.
Right. I won't, and getting overreacting. That is one of my flaws.
Anger issue. Yes.
So I can overreact and get self. Seem like I don't have no control of my anger,
Yes.
and that has changed, and that
Yes.
would have to be changed for us to have a good relationship
Right.
in the house. So so that is one area, and most likely one of the better areas. That is one of the areas that I really was plagued with,
Anger as well. Okay.
anger. So when I do get angry, that is really.
Right. Right.
So,
right.
But that is definitely what God has allowed for the family to grow and able to sit with the children. I try to be more, not really long time, but recent times.
Yeah.
Try to pray with Shanti as much as possible. Pray with Bev, You know, but and that is what I insist on trying to continue doing.
Okay.
I know I don't really share, but I need to start a devotional session so that we can even have that going.
Okay.
So I know where we can actually build the family, strengthen the family in Christ, doing that.
Okay. Thanks, bro. We're about done. Do you have any closing comments you want to make at all as we bring this our talk to an end?
You know, I'm here just to assist, you know, in getting, you know, to assist others in struggles.
Right.
And if there's anything that you need to confess, you need to confess to others. And,
Yes.
and then you can have a better walk with Christ.
Right.
So that they can assist, you know.
Right. So the more we hide our sin, and David expressed in Psalm 51 that he was miserable. There's no freedom in it. So that the idea of bringing it before the Lord and say, God, this is where I'm at, or even confessing it to a trusted brother or sister, it's also helpful.
Yes, and continue in prayer.
Prayer.
One has to continue in prayer.
Pray and then pray some more.
Yes.
Bro,
So-
thank you. Big up yourself.
Respect
really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, bro.
Again.
Thank you so much.
for sharing.
Yes, man. This was Real Stories, Real People. Thanks, Errol, for sharing his story. And one thing that we learned is the idea of what God uses to bring us back to Himself. And Errol used the idea of pain in his body and seeing his own weakness. And eventually, our brother and friend recommitted his heart to Jesus, and God has restored and is restoring him. Truly, we can declare that victory belongs to Jesus. Victory belongs to Him, and He has brought this victory to us and for us. And for that, we give Him thanks. Thank you again, family, for joining us on Real Stories, Real People, as He restores His people. See you again soon. Bye-bye.